Hello, boys and girls. It's We-On-Loc Nation here. Thought I would talk about something a little bit different, but similar to most topics that are still going on today. But first, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe button. And I also want to thank all all my subscribers yet again, supporting me for all these times. Um, it is very important to note that when it comes to what's going on in the world today, that we must stick together as one family, one unit, even though there are some people who are very divisive. The time now is not to waver or wane away from unity. But in the case of Jasmine Crockett, which I have to tell you, there are some forces that are just don't want her to win, and there are other forces that really don't want her to win, who really don't want her to be in that seat, which I have to give a shout out to Willie D, because Willie D put out a video of her yet again. I think it was either a video or a post, yet again, her being threatened or whatever, threatened by email. This is not going to change. She has struck a blow in the white man's ego. Um, Donald Trump is not the only person that is thrown his hat in the ringer. Um, but we'll get to the white supremacists a little because it's quite obvious, right? I want to talk about some of these black dudes who still to this day do not believe that a black woman should be and will be in power, no matter what position that it is. Um, we talked about it a long time ago, how it doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter what position that you're in. It doesn't matter what position that a woman is in, that they will forever be someone's maid. There will forever be, in the eyes of some of these folks who often complain that a woman's career is being put first, which is not necessarily true. Their, how do I say it? Yeah, I'll just put it in, I'll just leave it there. Their careers, or however it goes, is being put first, and not their services, if you will, for a male. Going into this is 2026. If you have issues with a female, I don't care who you are, or I should put it this way: if you have issues doing shit yourself, then you don't need to be in this world. But hold on, let me go in here because I don't want to be distracted in the course. I open the door. Anywho, there is always, because these, I think we have over, I think we have to overcome, I think we have to overcome a lot of things. Number one, women are going to work. Women have been working since slavery times. Number two, I have no issues with any woman who is in the position to get us where we need to go. Jasmine Crockett has been threatened. She's had people come to her, um, the facility where she works, and linger around that bitch. She's had threatening letters. She she's possibly wearing body armor, the type of body armor that most people can't detect. But body armor doesn't do anything to her face. Body armor does. She doesn't have head armor, if you know what I mean. It doesn't take much for a person to, if they really wanted to quote unquote Charlie Kirker, which I hope does not happen. But this is the reason why I say she needs to be well protected at all times. Um, if you have so much vigorol for a woman being in a important seat, then ask me this question: where are all the men where are all the so-called black men? And I'm not saying all. Where are the so-called black men who, if you don't feel the need that a woman should be in an important position, and she has proven throughout the shadow of a doubt that she is capable of leading in that Senate seat. I'm scared. I'm scared for us. I'm scared for this nation. I am totally taken aback. Where is your leader? That would be my first question. Where is your leader to lead us into the future? Where is your leader? More importantly, where is your leader in where is your leader in the household? And again, this is not all black people who I'm talking to. I'm talking to those specific people who have an interest in calling out Jasmine Crockett because she is so close to being in that position. Why does it bother you so that a woman like this, um, being in position? I get it, because you don't have the ability as a grown ass man to fix you a sandwich. You don't have the ability as a grown ass man to pay even a third of the bills. If you're gonna pay 100%, you're paying 100% of the bills, 50%. It doesn't matter. A woman's job, when taught, she is going to pleasure you whether you want it to happen or not. The fact of the matter is, things are forced, in my opinion. You don't force things to happen, they just happen naturally, is what I'm saying. Hello. You need things to happen naturally. And if you are upset that a woman is not necessarily choosing her career over you, then you are missing the boat of the importance. You are missing the whole boat of the importance of this coming election. You are. I mean, it's bad enough that we have to deal with this in the real world. It's bad enough that we still talk about these things to this very day, and it clicks and views. But I, it just needs to end. It just needs to end. Otherwise, we're going to be a species without a nation. Hell, it's bad enough they want to. It's bad enough that you. Let me start over. It's bad enough that you are separating yourselves with this whole FBA ADOS thing. It's very, very sad indeed. I'm at work, but I'm listening on my lunch break. Oh, what you having for lunch? Shoot, I need to cook more. I'm not that hungry. But it's bad enough that you are separating yourselves from when it comes to this whole ADS thing, ADOS versus FBA versus Pan African. But it's real stupid. It's really, really stupid to come after a woman who was more qualified than James Tallarico, more qualified than John Cornyn, and whoever else is coming up the street. And do we have to talk about Wesley Hunt? No, we don't have to talk about Wesley Hunt. So her uprising is going to be, she already has the attention of East Texas, West Texas. I mean, she's been in Houston, Texas. She's been in Dallas, Texas. She's been in Fort Worth, Texas. All you Texarkanans out there, you have risen, you have risen and risen up high as you have risen her up high. And she was crying tears the other day. She was crying tears because of the even though she is dead dog tired, she's going through the motions. She has this. All the people in Texarkana have given her support, and I think us who are fans of her should give, like myself, should give her the same support as well. It has only been a couple of months, and she's already getting that star attention. She's also getting the attention of some people who want her, let's just say, not in there, right? I'm not going to give any bad spiritual diversions on that. I'm not going to do that. But I will say, however, is like I said, she needs protection. I can't stress that enough. I cannot stress that enough. So let me see. We need to cut this shit out. Some of me men just need to cut this shit out. If you can't find a woman that could please you, to just it is what it is. Oh boy, maybe you should put some money together to get some hookers or something, because I don't know what's going on in your world. It's like some of us ain't gonna get married. I wonder why. Some of us ain't gonna have kids. I wonder why. All that trash talk. a woman, especially a black woman, can do more for you than a white woman could. Yes, I said it. What's been going on with her lately?
To making sure that those judges that are going to get lifetime appointments, making sure that they are truly vetted by someone who has actually practiced in those courts. But also when it comes to these very important investigations that may lead to people actually being incarcerated, as we just saw Prince Andrew, who just got arrested on today. We know that there is so much value that comes with the type of experience that I bring. And the final point that I'll make is that as someone who started her political career in rural East Texas, I know what it is to live in rural Texas. I know what it is to live in urban Texas. And so we will continue to go and pound the pavement throughout all of Texas. And that's what it's going to take. And the final point, because I'm a PK, so that means we got to close a few times. The final point that I'll make is that we need somebody who is a proven fighter in this moment, someone who will not back down, someone who will not fold. And I can tell you that my track record is clear. I have always fought for the people that I represented, and I've never folded.
There is a PAC running ads here in Austin, I'm sure all across the state, that talks about you in a way that, you know, it claims you're the Republican pick for this, and that there are some, you know, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes to get you into this position. Talk to us about that PAC and that ad.
I think is really interesting because really a centerpiece of my opponent's campaign has been no PAC money, and we have to get super PACs and dark money out of campaigns. And then it is a dark money PAC that is not engaged in lifting him up, but tearing me down. I think that tells you where we are either in this primary as it relates to the numbers, or I think that it tells you where we are as far as the type of campaign that maybe my opponent wants to run, which is one of tearing down a qualified Black woman. I will tell you that, you know, these are the laws, and so it is completely allowable under the current laws. It's just not necessarily, to me, in lockstep with the words that my opponent is delivering. Earlier today, a reporter asked me how I would respond because he was asked about why he hasn't denounced the super PAC or denounced the darkening of my skin, which is taking place. I know you referenced the video, but even when we look at the mail pieces that they've sent out, which historically has been one of those ugly things that we typically see from the Republicans. So as it relates to Republicans tricking me, that's just insane. The Republicans have never tricked me into anything a day in my life, number one. Number two, what I tell people is to follow the money. We know that while the Republicans say one thing, we know that Governor Abbott decided that he would go up on broadcast TV to do ads. And who is he doing ads against? He's doing ads against me right before my primary, and he's actually running those ads in rural Texas. Now, why is it that the governor would spend over $1 million a week doing ads against me when, first of all, I'm not in his race, and second of all, if I'm the candidate that you really, really want, then why would you do that, right? You want me to get into the general election. The same thing about the fact that why would anybody broadcast who it is that they actually want to run against? I have been very quiet about who I have a preference to run against, to be perfectly honest. That just seems like bad strategy. And so, you know, it is what it is. We are going to focus on the issues, and we are going to continue to talk to Texans, because I hate when you have all of this other noise. It is the noise and distractions that got us to where we are. It is also the complacency and the lack of bold vision that got us to where we are. We need to be aggressive. We need to be tough. We need to be fighters in this moment as our democracy hangs by a thread. And that's what I'm going to focus on.
Final thoughts for our viewers as we head to March 3rd.
Yeah. You know, I know that times are tough. I do this work because I know how bad it is. And if you are looking at it from your vantage point, I don't even want to tell you what I'm saying from my vantage point. I know what it is to fight in this environment. I know the types of risks that come along with that. I know that I will never, ever back down or fold. You don't have to worry about where I'm going to be when it comes to voting rights or whether or not I'm going to show up. I've been showing up every single day for my job in DC while also showing up and asking for your vote and your support. I'm asking that you block out all of the extra noise, whether it's super PACs, whether it's outsiders in New York or DC, because we're Texas. And frankly, we always have said, don't mess with Texas. And so we as Texans need to make our own decision. And we should make that decision based on qualifications. As a 20-year licensed attorney who is licensed in both Texas and Arkansas, who has practiced in both state and federal courts, who owns her own small business, who started off as a county party chair in rural East Texas, in Bowie County, Texas, who has lived in both rural and urban Texas, who understands the struggles and also understands how to get things done in DC and does not have to worry about a learning curve whatsoever. We need to send the most experienced person to DC. And no matter who it is that I have to match up with when it comes down to that general election, I will be ready. On the other side, if it's one of the two leading candidates, they are both attorneys. So will I be. If it's one of the other two candidates, you've got one that's on the federal level that I actually work with. So I know what he is and isn't doing. And I can check him in real time because we are both in DC working just across the chambers. If it comes down to being our attorney general, then that means you have a candidate who is on that stage and is more experienced, because I would be the only one with any federal experience in the race, in the matchup between the two of us. Recent polling has me up over Ken Paxton. It is not the first poll. I'm asking you to trust your gut on who it is that you know will fight for you even when you're asleep. Go out, cast your votes. Let's get this done, Texas, because we can do it.
Remember, this is the last week that you can cast.
How can you not vote for a person like that? And we're just talking about a Senate race. We're not talking about the United States of America. We're just simply talking about a Senate race. You don't understand the pressure that she goes through on a daily basis, but yet you want her to cook and clean and sew, while the rest of them, they're just going to play antics. They're going to play any type of antics or any type of tricks to make sure that she does not win the primaries. And that's very sad. Nothing is going to be clean. Nothing that she does is going to satisfy certain people. And I understand that. But to go online and say that she is not qualified and to make a bunch of videos stating why. I don't need your explanation of knowing why or your banters or whatnot. Keep your fucking mouth shut. Because again, I'm bleeding all over the place. Because again, she is going to make the primary and ain't shit you can do about it, but yet crime, bitch, and moan. But another thing, she's a licensed attorney. Why would any man would not want somebody who is twice qualified? 3 times qualified, I should say. We love Jasmine Crockett too. And I'm not saying that the rest of the world has to like this woman. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is keep your criticisms to yourself. this is of importance. We need those seats to flip. And the woman from Iowa, there's a woman from Iowa. There's people from the North District of Texas and whatever else. I don't know what's happening in Atlanta. I don't know what's happening in Georgia, but my someone told me that those seats have turned already. And it's because of this administration. Now, I'm not saying and by the way, Kamala Harris, as you know, or if you don't know, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, she is running again. She's gonna put her hat in the ringer for the third time. And I did say that I was going to vote for it just to piss off a couple of people, but and I had to make my my videos, if you will, about this woman, a full ongoing hourly video about Mrs. Kamala Harris, because I was a bit naive on certain things. I have to admit, I was a bit naive. I was a bit naive. But now, if you are a Texan, I just want to remind you, if you are a Texan, if you are a Texarkana, if it's Fort Worth, Houston, Dallas, or wherever, um, you still got till this week, and then I think after that, then it goes on to, I think, November. But early voting is still in effect. So I think this week would be the last week. So get your early votes in, because it might not be the same due to the Save Act. Um, for those who don't know what the Save Act is, it it will affect people who this Save Act will affect people who are married, because, just keeping it 1,000 with you, Donald Trump does not want women voting, period, because he feels that women and immigrants should not be voting. Can we keep it on? Can we keep it 1,000? So it's going to affect a lot of married couples. Are like 85% of people in the United States of America. It will affect that, and it also would affect immigrants who have been either born or been in this country for, I would say, 20, 30, 40 years. It's going to affect them too. So hopefully everything is up to date. It did pass the House, but it did not pass the Senate. So make sure your information is in order. Make sure that you have your passports just in case, or you have your birth certificate. He was real heavy on birth certificate. He did the same thing to Obama like 10 years ago. He was bitching and moaning and complaining. It's like, why is he doesn't have his birth certificate? He's not America. He was born in the islands. He just doesn't have his birth certificate. Blah 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 blah. So make sure your shit is up to date. But right now you can still vote. You can still vote. You just need your license. All right. Where can I? What information? Where can you find what information about the Save Act? It's called Google. Google's your best friend. Google is your best friend. I was looking into. Unfortunately, I was unsuccessful into seeing if we could, shit, try to veto the Save Act. He's going to do any and everything to try to rig November's election. That's what he's going to try to do. I mean, I even heard at one point, I think it was John Cornyn or it was somebody to the effect when they said that we're going to get ICE to the and block people who are going to the polls because we're not going to have another cheating election. I'm like, eh, okay, what if there were millions of us? You're going to stop a million? You're going to stop 4 or 5 million people who are in the United States of America to go vote for a for a democratic person, a democratic candidate? You must be crazy. It's going to have to be in the millions because the threat, you're going to have to take that serious. You're going to have to take these things serious. So, but like I said, early voting, and you can still use your license. Just go to early vote. Go to your early vote. Go to your local um, districts and just vote for Jasmine Crockett for U.S. Senate. I feel sorry for James Charles Eagle though. I do sorry for him. I I don't have a problem with. I said this before. I don't have a problem with the man. The only issue that I have is he talks as if certain people care about religion. They don't. You could talk religion all day, but at the end of the day, money rules the world. Money, power, and respect rule the world. And with the whole bullshit fanatics that Donald Trump did the other day, said that he was going to continue with the tariffs, but he was going to charge another 5% instead of 10%. So that makes it 15%, and is going to go against the Supreme Court. I don't know how this shit's going to go, but I do know he needs to tread lightly. The I don't want his blood pressure going up when they or get a heart attack when he finds out that some of the judges that he's going against, that they can take away his power. But for right now, I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of months. I don't have any answers for you. I just do not. The only thing I can tell you, the only thing I tell you is just be prepared and be ready.
A ballot early voting.
If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. I'm sure you saw this.
This is the power of the people. Do you know how many people along the road have told me, well, Jasmine, you're going to have to change? When I went off to Congress, they told me, you're not going to be able to be the same. I've been the same every that I have shown up in Congress. You know how many people said, specifically when I had the little incident with you know who? Had all these members say, we don't know if you're going to get reelected. We don't know about that. I said, one thing I didn't decide to do when I got here was to come to work and allow somebody to disrespect me. Right. If I allow someone to disrespect me, how is it that the people that I represent will believe that I will fight for them? Right. So I show up authentically me. It makes some people cringe. But the people are tired of politics as usual. Right. And right now, there are so many good establishment Democrats in Texas. And they're just like, well, I mean, if you're not going to campaign and try to go get everybody who's on the right, then how is it that you're going to win? We've tried that for 30 years. There are people that said you're crazy for thinking that expanding the electorate is the path. Let me give y'all some numbers.
Yes.
Right now, Texas is outvoting Republicans. Democrats are outvoting Republicans right now in Texas. So is it a matter of us having to cross over and go brown? should be able to afford a home in this country. I don't think it's radical to say that people should have access not only to a good paying job, but one that makes sure they are going to be safe. I don't have radical ideas. As a civil rights lawyer, I have really kind of like basic ideas. And frankly, anybody that wants better in their lives, no matter if they consider themselves a Democrat or a Republican or an independent, then they're welcome here. But I am not going to compromise my values and pretend like I need to bend the knee to rich folk. I'm not going to pretend like it is okay for people in the Epstein class to somehow avoid accountability. I'm not going to pretend like it is okay to have a president who thinks he's a king and sits up there and continues to enrich himself. Oversight. And I will not back down. That is what you need to understand. Most people that are frustrated with Democrats and Republicans, they're frustrated because they say y'all are a bunch of cowards. Because when it's time to stand up and fight, they fold. I'm going to tell you right now that my record is one of fighting. I ain't never folded. Not a day in my life. You'll never have to worry about where I stand. You know where I stand. Let me tell you something. I ain't going to tell y'all about that. I was going to tell y'all about the third vote. It gets people a little funny at me. But nevertheless, you never have to worry about where I stand. You know how many people had to call my office as it relates to ICE funding? Ain't nobody called me. You know why? They knew exactly where I was going to be. They didn't have to call me. I am always a sure thing. They knew that I wasn't going to vote for that nonsense. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't afford to have a wild card in this moment. That's just that. You need a proven, dedicated fighter who also just happens to know what she's doing. It's a rookie, y'all. It's not. Listen, me going to the Senate is me going across the hall. They don't call the Senate the Congress, but it is. It is the Congress, right? I am already in the Congress. And so I am the most experienced person, not just because I say it, but because I am the only one that is actually in the Congress. And for anybody that has questions about where I stand on issues, listen, we have more issues on our issues page and we could keep going than anybody else, but I thought it was so important that I lay out that I don't just say that I'm for housing reform, that I just don't say that I'm looking out for veterans, that I don't just say that I'm looking out for educational opportunities. I needed to show you what I've been doing. Because I don't go viral for like doing that stuff. I go viral when I clash with somebody. But the reality is that that is not the substance of who I am. That's just a little bit of the spice that comes with it. There is real substance. The reality is that, listen, ain't nobody ever gave a black woman too much in this world. I've always had to put in the work, and it has always been 10 times as much work. But it's okay. I mean, it's not okay. I understand what it is, and I rise to the challenge. But I also understand, and we have always said that this is not about any one individual. This is about us collectively. And understanding your power, and harnessing that power, and never giving up on your power. In this moment, the people in power want you to feel helpless. They want you to feel hopeless. I am here to tell you that this is our moment. We are going to change the trajectory, not just of the country, but of the world. Right now. People thought I was a crash dummy when I signed up. They said, now, Congresswoman, we need your voice. In D.C., I said, that's cool, because you won't be able to send me back. But it's Texas, and we know how Texas acts. Yes, I know how Texas acts. But the reality is that I looked at the numbers. People don't want to accept the fact that this is a majority-minority state. And I am telling you that because I am a candidate that has the coalition that we need.
Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's get some likes.
Who is always the number one backer of Democrats? Which Democrat? Black women. Black women are always first. Okay? Who's number two? All right, this one may be a little bit more difficult. You know who it is that my biggest supporters are, even in the primary? Black women, number one. Black men, number two. Latinas, number three. All right. That is the coalition. That is who we are going to have to make sure that we can motivate. Now, that doesn't mean we leaving anybody out. I don't want y'all to think that now. Okay? The other part of the coalition we've been losing for the longest time has been the working class. They keep talking about how Democrats keep losing the working class. For people that
not yet
have a formal 4-year degree, guess who's been winning them?
Not yet, Marie.
By more than 20 points against my primary opponent. These are the things that we need to be thinking about going into November. It's the people that we absolutely have to turn out, the people that we can't afford to sit at home, because historically in the state of Texas, they have set the elections out. You have a candidate that believes in going and talking to everyone. But as it relates to making those investments, we gotta invest in who it is that we know has been ignored. And it is those people in the coalition. It is not the Republicans. I'm just telling y'all. Now, does that mean the Republicans ain't gonna vote for me? It doesn't. Because I've already had a few tell me if it's such and such, I'm with you. I'm not gonna tell you which candidate is like the most. But honestly, anybody that is looking for better, because if you are in Texas and you are complaining about any aspect of your life, I will continue to remind them that the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the gubernatorial mansion. I will remind them that the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. Whatever your issues are, it ain't the trans folks. They're not the ones. Whatever your issues are, it ain't the diversity, equity, and inclusion. I want to be clear that they are distracted and they are divided. We need to be united in this moment. And we need to understand where the real opposition lies. It is not within. It is over there. So I am committed to doing everything that I can for the down ballots, because I have been there. I wouldn't be here as a down ballot candidate who only won by 90 votes. I understand the power of getting people into the state house, so that when they try to play the redistricting games again, we have the right people in place. We cannot look at this and say that this is just this election. It has to be bigger than that. Do y'all understand why they're fighting so hard? Do y'all understand what comes after the midterm? The presidential. If they can continue to convince the country that there's no way Texas can do this, then we don't get the investments. But so long as we win, that means that the investments start to flow into our state. And you tell me how the Republicans get the White House without Texas. There's no math that matters for Republicans. I'm telling y'all, we just heard from John Cornyn this week. He said, if y'all choose wrong, we may lose. He's acknowledging this. Governor Abbott has decided that he is spending over $1 million a week against me, and he dropped this right before the primary. Some will try to convince you that the Republicans really want me. The money tells a different story. These are the facts. Just follow the money. So listen, we got to get out here. We got to work. We talk to everybody. The great equalizer has always been at the ballot box. Whether you are Elon Musk or an unhoused person, let me tell you, your vote counts just the same. So don't leave anybody out of this process. Part of that 90 that helped me was because I had the audacity to give out water to some unhoused folk, and it just so happened that all we had was Jasmine water because we swagged out in that campaign. There were unhoused folk that actually came and voted for me just because I saw their humanity. I was not trying to campaign. It was hot. And we were in the midst of the pandemic. So a lot of people were outside because of the spacing requirements. And so I just gave out water. And I found out from one of my poll readers that some unhoused folk had came in to vote for me. Never underestimate the power of just having a little bit of humanity. Especially in this moment. That is my charge to you. Don't leave anybody out of this equation. Because right now we are all in the same sinking ship. So God bless y'all for listening.
And again, once again, if you're living in that city, in that state, excuse me, in the state of Texas, um, do I have people in Texas? Yes, I have a sister-in-law, and I have a couple of cousins who live in that region over there. So go out and do your early voting because it's going to end in about a week or so, or it's going to end this week, I believe, before somebody from the Senate turns on the Save Act, and then of course, effective immediately, women are not going to be so lucky because most women in the United States are married, and of course, they don't go by their maiden name; they go by their last name, which is takes on the man's last name, which that is a whole cluster, you know what. So with that being said, of course, we don't listen to the haters. We don't listen to the haters at all. Although I don't mind them because they look stupid afterwards. After what happened with Trump a couple of days ago, it was quite refreshing to realize that you're not the dictator that people that you think you are. You're just an old. Let me tell you something about Trump. He is just an old person who is. It's just about his time now to sit down in several seats with his fat ass and stop pouting because you didn't receive your reward. But Obama did. Obama received his what is it called? His Nobel Peace Prize. He received his Nobel Peace Prize. Martin Luther King got his Nobel Peace Prize, but he didn't get a Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, whoop. So he's declaring war in America because number one, he proclaimed he got cheated. And 63 judges in different districts told him, no, you did not get cheated. Get out of my face. Um, he has powerful people in high places. So he bribed the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court gave him immunity. And now it's like you're just gonna have to keep on fighting. But the one thing that will incriminate him is those Epstein files, and that's one of the reasons why it's taking so long for the completion of those files to come out. Let's face it, not 100% of the Epstein files are ever going to come out. Not anything 100% of the Martin Luther King files are going to come out. Not everything is going to come out 100%. Not everything. So with this thing, I'm gonna leave with you, and especially with the men, because again, she's having a very, very, very hard time. Yeah, it is disgusting. And he proclaims not to be involved, but that's just what people in power do. They point fingers. When their kingdom crumbles, that's when they start pointing fingers. He blamed the Clintons. He blamed the Clintons, even though the Clintons are also involved. Then the Clintons blame him, and then he blames Eli, and then Eli is supposed to be the trillionaire. He's not the trillionaire anymore. And anyone who is not loyal to the dictator, anyone who is not loyal to Hitler, it's a problem. And I'm so disappointed in my Nigerian friend from the other day that was praising Trump and kissing his ass. But you're gonna have some people like that. Overall, you're gonna have some people like that who like to go trip moan and say, Donald Trump is that guy, just like Martin Luther King Sr. and Yeezy, who did the exact same thing. Um, they're out. They're they're out. They're gone. We don't talk about them no more, right? But here's what I'll leave you with: this. Go vote. Appreciate if you are with a woman with high quality, with high quality works, with high quality standards. Appreciate the things that you have, because you never know, when you fuck up that one time, that person is gone, and there ain't no coming back. So value your woman like she should value you as a man. If you have somebody, you can imagine how pretty and how sexy and how intelligent and how deviant this woman is, and they trying to change her around, trying to change her attitude, trying to change her mode. She ain't changing for nobody, and that's who I want. And we were talking about the system the other day. She is definitely flipping the system, not totally all the way, but she is flipping the system, and that's what white people don't like. Sorry to say, it is what it is. You can quote me on that. Well, that's it. That's all. Oops.